Cenat has been a hot topic recently due to a sudden, shall we say, rebrand. I know I'm kind of late to the topic, but I wanted to cover it once the commotion had calmed down and I could form a genuine and true opinion on it. A lot of people are calling his new persona performative and annoying, and some are even begging for him to go back to the way he was. Yeah, because how dare he try to solve his illiteracy and tell us about mental health? Stick to screaming into the camera and dance for us, you little nick. Personally, I don't get the hate. All I see is a guy who is trying to change his life for the better, pursuing his passions and attempting to inspire his young, impressionable audience to do the same. But no, let's clown him for it instead and call him performative. Do I sometimes question the legitimacy of this change and why he has to make a big deal out of it and also push his clothing brand at the same time? Yes, but let's remember that this is all he knows. Documenting his life has been all he's known for most of his early adolescence up until today. And the clothing brand, like he said, came from an interest he developed in fashion over the years. But most of the hate I saw was people calling him fake because he documents his self-improvement, or that he decided to get into fashion while he was already famous. A lot of the hate I see seems to be rooted in envy and jealousy, almost as if they don't like him because they don't have what he has, or that they wouldn't document their own life changes like he does. And this got me thinking, this really isn't anything new. In fact, it's a common thing. For some reason, people are so uncomfortable when you outgrow an image that they had of you in their heads. So in response, they'll try to do or say things to keep you in that mold. When people become attached to a certain version of you, it's hard to accept that you can suddenly change, so they'll try to scramble for a reason why it happened. With Cenat, the loud and energetic persona is what we had become accustomed to. So when all of a sudden he started talking about mental health, it's unusual to us. So we say things like, oh, Hollywood got to him. Damn, that breakup with Gigi hit him hard. He's a streamer. He's not tough, bro. He's not a fashion designer. You're not Kanye. Blah, blah, blah. Everyone just completely ignores the fact that he's only 24 years old. So obviously he had a lot of growth to undergo. There's a lot of interests and goals he may have developed along the way. And added on top of that, gaining all that success he's had at a young age and the toll it must have taken on him is something we can't understand. We do this with artists too. People constantly wish that Kanye and Drake would go back to making the music that they used to. They long for an era long gone, hoping that those people can somehow reverse into time and turn into the people we are familiar with. The music they made was reflective of who they were back then. I, as a fan, have had to sit down with myself and realize that they won't make that music because they've seen, heard, and experienced a lot more, and it's a bit unfair for me to expect that out of them. But instead of accepting that, we constantly push these people to go back to doing what they used to in hopes that we could feel the same way we did back then. And on the off chance that they do, and the nostalgia doesn't deliver, we don't question why we were still clinging on to what used to be, but rather, we still complain that they're just not the same anymore. It seems like many people don't realize that embracing evolution actually helps them more than it hinders them. Change tends to make some of the people around you start to feel uncomfortable, and you only see that when you start to put yourself first and change for the better. You'd expect that to receive some respect and applause, but nah, they call you arrogant, conceited. They say that you're pretending. They say that you're in a phase. They say that you're a sellout or call you an attention seeker.
What happened to you, man? Used to be cool.
I'm still cool.
Nah, you've changed, man.
The sad reality is most of us limit our own potential because we're scared to go and oppose the ideas that certain people have of us. We worry too much about what others will say and then remain shackled to the old versions of ourselves to make them happy. It kind of pains me to think about just how many people have stopped themselves from genuinely improving their lives and doing great things in this world, all because their change was mocked by the people that they seeked approval from. And I see them every day all around my hood. I see potential business owners, creatives, academic geniuses that the world has missed out on, all because they are surrounded by people in an environment that trains each other to keep themselves there. I literally see the crabs in the bucket phenomenon almost every single day of my life. I think the reason people do and say things to keep you from changing is because your change might signal their own lack of improvement, or it exposes their own fear of challenging themselves. When you live a certain way and it becomes all you know, it becomes hard to accept that someone else can go outside of that. You changing means that they're getting left behind. But the point of this video is not to villainize anyone for thinking this way, because at the end of the day, it's just normal human nature. If right now you met up with a homie you went to high school 5 to 10 years ago, you'd automatically remember all the memories from that time period. It won't immediately register that so much time has passed that people may have dealt with many experiences that resulted in them no longer being the person you once knew. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, the last type of person I want to be is the one whose life remains stuck ever since leaving high school.
I got it on a plaque on my wall. It's the picture of me winning the senior superlative, and then right under that, I got all my little shoes laid out. Man, them days, bro, I would do it. Man, I miss high school.
You have to remember that your identity is fluid. You don't have to let people trap you into what they think you should or could be. When you allow other people to close the gap between who you are and who you're trying to be, then you will never evolve. And it would hurt to look back decades from now, realizing that you stayed the same. You never made that change. You never went through the journey of self-discovery, all because you feared the opinion of others, but then you are the one now getting punished for it. And logically speaking, you shouldn't be the same person you were from 5 years ago. If you are, then I think there's something painfully wrong with your life that you should fix. People who truly love you won't resent you or shame you for changing. In fact, they'll even be willing to grow alongside you or end the relationship on good terms if you two just don't align anymore. But don't hold up that expectation for them. If they want the old you and can't accept the change, that's completely fine. You can't force anyone to love the new you when the old is what they were introduced and accustomed to. But on the flip side, you'll never change if you allow everyone else to tell you who you are. But anyways, I think that's all I have to say. As always, drop your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe. Y'all stay safe, and I'm out.
I'm gonna have to apologize ahead of time because I'm gonna stretch his ass like it's never been stretched before.